Ladies and gentlemen, today we discuss about the history of America, USA. Pre-Columbian era. Long before European contact, the Americas were home to a diverse array of indigenous cultures. From the intricate societies of the Mississippian culture, known for their mound building, to the complex civilizations of the Aztecs and Incas in present-day Mexico and Peru. The continent was rich with diverse languages, traditions, and political structures. Native Americans developed a deep connection to the land, with various tribes adapting to their environments, leading to distinct lifestyles ranging from nomadic hunting to settled agriculture. European exploration and colonization, 15th, 17th centuries. The late 15th century marked the beginning of European exploration. Christopher Columbus's 1492 voyage, sponsored by Spain, initiated widespread contact between Europe and the Americas. Following Columbus, explorers like John Cabot, Hernán Cortés, and Francisco Pizarro sought riches and territorial claims, leading to the establishment of Spanish colonies in the Caribbean, Mexico, and South America. The English began their colonization efforts in the early 17th century with the establishment of Jamestown in 1607 and Plymouth Colony in 1620. The French and Dutch also established colonies, leading to a patchwork of European claims across the continent. Interactions with indigenous peoples varied greatly, ranging from trade and cooperation to violent conflict and displacement. Colonial America, 17th, 18th centuries. By the mid-18th century, the British had established 13 colonies along the Atlantic coast. These colonies developed distinct regional identities. New England was known for its shipbuilding and trade. The middle colonies were characterized by agriculture and diversity, and the southern colonies relied heavily on plantation economies powered by enslaved labor. Tensions grew between the colonies and Britain, especially after the French and Indian War 1754 to 1763, which left Britain in debt and seeking to tax the colonies. The imposition of taxes through acts like the Stamp Act and the Townshend Acts led to widespread protests and the rallying cry of no taxation without representation. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. Growing discontent culminated in the American Revolution. In 1775, armed conflict broke out at Lexington and Concord, leading to the formation of the Continental Congress. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson drafted the Declaration of Independence, asserting the colony's right to self-governance. With the support of France and other allies, the colonies won key victories, including the pivotal Battle of Saratoga. The war officially ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1783, establishing the United States as an independent nation. Formation of a new nation, 1783 to 1815. In the aftermath of the revolution, the new nation faced numerous challenges, including economic instability and political division. The Articles of Confederation proved inadequate, leading to the Constitutional Convention of 1787. The resulting U.S. Constitution established a federal government with a system of checks and balances. The Bill of Rights, ratified in 1791, ensured individual liberties. George Washington became the first president, and the nation began to expand westward, often at the expense of indigenous populations. The era of expansion and conflict, 1815 to 1860. The early 19th century saw rapid expansion driven by the belief in manifest destiny, the idea that the U.S. was destined to expand across the continent. This period included the Louisiana Purchase, 1803, the annexation of Texas, 1845, and the Oregon Trail. However, expansion brought conflict, particularly regarding the institution of slavery. The Missouri Compromise 1820 attempted to balance free and slave states, but tensions escalated with events like the Compromise of 1850 and the Kansas-Nebraska Act 1854, which led to violent confrontations in Bleeding, Kansas. The Civil War 1861 to 1865. The election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860, viewed as a threat to slavery, prompted Southern states to secede from the Union, forming the Confederacy. The Civil War erupted in April 1861, marked by brutal battles such as Gettysburg and Antietam. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, declaring freedom for enslaved people in Confederate-held territory. The Union's eventual victory in 1865 preserved the nation and led to the abolition of slavery through the 13th Amendment. Reconstruction and the Gilded Age 1865 to 1900. The Reconstruction sought to integrate formerly enslaved people and rebuild the South. The 14th and 15th Amendments granted citizenship and voting rights to African Americans, but the period was fraught with resistance, leading to the rise of Jim Crow laws and systemic racism. The late 19th century, known as the Gilded Age, was characterized by rapid industrialization, urbanization, and immigration. Major cities grew, fueled by an influx of immigrants seeking opportunities. This era also saw the rise of monopolies and labor movements fighting for workers' rights. The Progressive Era 1890 to 1920. In response to the social and economic challenges of the Gilded Age, the Progressive Era emerged. Reformers sought to address issues like corruption, labor rights, and women's suffrage. The 19th Amendment, ratified in 1920, granted women the right to vote. Key figures included Theodore Roosevelt, who championed antitrust laws and conservation, and Jane Addams, who advocated for social reform through the House movement. Through the World Wars and the Great Depression 1914 to 1945. The U.S. initially maintained neutrality during World War I, but joined the Allies in 1917. The war spurred economic growth and social change, including the great migration of African Americans to northern cities. The post-war period was marked by economic turmoil, leading to the Great Depression in the 1930s. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal introduced sweeping reforms to stimulate the economy and provide relief. World War II began in 1939 with the U.S. entering after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. The war effort led to significant changes, including increased roles for women and minorities in the workforce. The U.S. emerged as a global superpower post-war, marked by the establishment of the United Nations and the Marshall Plan. The Cold War era 1947 to 1991. The post-war period saw the onset of the Cold War, a geopolitical struggle between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. This era was characterized by nuclear arms races, proxy wars, and ideological conflicts, such as the Korean War 1950 to 1953 and the Vietnam War 1955 to 1975. Domestically, the civil rights movement sought to end racial segregation and discrimination. Key milestones included the Brown v. Board of Education Decision 1954 and the Civil Rights Act 1964. Contemporary America 1991 present. The Cold War ended in 1991, leading to significant geopolitical changes. The U.S. experienced economic growth in the 1990s, marked by the rise of the internet and technological innovations. The September 11th attacks in 2001 reshaped U.S. foreign and domestic policy, leading to the war on terror, the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and increased security measures. In the 21st century, America has grappled with issues of inequality, healthcare, immigration, and climate change. The election of Barack Obama in 2008 marked a significant moment in U.S. history as he became the first African-American president. The nation has continued to evolve, facing challenges such as political polarization, social justice movements, and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2020 presidential election underscored deep divisions, but also a renewed focus on democracy and civic engagement. Conclusion. The history of America is a complex tapestry woven from diverse cultures, struggles for rights, and the continuous quest for a more perfect union. As the nation moves forward, it carries with it the lessons of its past, navigating the challenges and opportunities of an ever-changing world. This summary touches on major themes and events, but America's history is vast and multifaceted, inviting deeper exploration into its many narratives.